People who work for the super wealthy, what stuff have you seen? Had a client who purchased a newly built penthouse apartment and wanted a jacuzzi on the balcony. It would have meant a structural column was needed in the middle of the balcony below, which the contractor who built the apartment block wouldn't go for as it would impact selling that apartment. Client buys the apartment below, approves the column, jacuzzi is installed, then privately sells the apartment below. Voila, problem solved. The owner of my company had a customer pay off a giant debt by signing over a yacht to him. When he went to the marina to get the storage info transferred to his name and saw how much it cost to store the yacht there, he bought the marina. Galaxy brain right there. Also, he had the spare cash to buy a marina, I guess. Well, don't we all? I think I looked at that marina, but seemed like a lot of maintenance, so I bought groceries instead. I did a male nanny, job for a rich couple who wanted someone to care for their kids. The wife didn't want a female nanny and I was in college, so it helped pay the bills. One day they asked, "Do you want to go to Hawaii?" Turns out the company that the husband was the coup of was doing an executive retreat in Hawaii. Instead of finding daycare in Hawaii for their kids, they thought it'd be easier to just pay for me to fly to Hawaii, care for the kids during the day, and then have my evenings or their family time free. So I went to Hawaii on their dime, had my own hotel room, they paid me for my time and gave me a large stipend for my own food entertainment. I ended up with pretty much every evening off, so I got to spend it. During the day I brought their kids to the beach, we went hiking, and did some touristy running around. On top of that, they gave me $5,000 in spending money in case any of the kids wanted anything. I had to show receipts, but when I tried to turn in the receipts, the wife just said, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's only a couple grand," and never verified how I'd spent some of that money. I couldn't tell if she just trusted me implicitly by that point or if she truly thought the amount was so small it didn't matter. They were a really nice family, just very well off, which made just spending money on any problems the easiest answer. I actually got invited to the oldest daughter's high school graduation because she considered me a friend. That's sweet. Did appliance repair. One lady had a 10 by 12 walk-in wine cooler. Floor to ceiling stocked with wine. In her living room. Another person's house was made of imported stone and had a library the size of 2-car garage. My favorite was an old lady who just had nice stuff. She took care of what she had. Every time I went she gave me $40 for a nice beer with your lady. I would always refuse, but she insisted and was basically the typical granny everyone would want. Had a library the size of 2-car garage. I like that. Not the craziest thing but wild to me. I was working for a kind of well-off family during a summer. I went inside to get a drink and the mom was cleaning the kitchen, putting things away and such. She picks up a MacBook and says to me, "Hey, do you want this? No one uses it, got a brand new MacBook for college." My mom was a maid growing up, not for the hyper wealthy but for wealthy people. I got so much free shit growing up because of them, it's insane. Clothes with tags on it, boxes of VHSs, I'm old, Game Boys, computers whenever they upgraded. It was actually really nice, because the people my mom worked for were very nice and generous. Sounds like my dad. He was it for a company owned by a rich guy, and the guy would have him test out gadgets before he bought one himself, so my dad has always had a new, top-of-the-line smartphone, iPad, laptop, etc. Redid a lady's shower one time during the middle of a nasty divorce. The shower was 6*x10 with the entire ceiling covered in shower heads. Since he was off with half the office, I figured I'd get the other half all in here. Lady was a baller, $500 tip for everyone who worked on that bathroom because it was her ex's money. Edit, we redid the glass to her shower when I was at a glass shop. How the actual plumbing and stuff worked is beyond me. My job was to bring in giant panes of glass, attach them to the wall floors, waterproof the seals, and dip. With how large her house was and the other 2 smaller houses that were attached, I'm sure she had enough money to throw at someone to solve those plumbing problems. Honestly, having a shower like that sounds like the dream. I want that now. Or at least one that just delivers a splash of water that cleans you in no time. Their kids are all kinds of screwed up. Turns out money can't replace an emotionally available parent. Their kids, all young 20s, never shut the door when using the bathroom. Plenty times while cleaning the house I'd walk past the bathroom and see one of their daughters on the can. They'd often wave or say hi. Duck and nod. My dad does this. Maybe there's an inheritance I'm not expecting. Never work for millionaires. They're just trying to prove something. Work for billionaires. They know what they want and will just pay what it costs to get it right. A caretaker getting paid 6 American figures for keeping up a multi-million-dollar house that gets used 2 weeks a year. Millionaires show that money is no object. Billionaires, money literally is no object. Obviously, everyone is different. I remember reading an anecdote on a similar thread where a waiter, I think, said at the club he worked for, groups of millionaires would shell out for a ridiculous drink tab ordering the most expensive wines and cocktails. Billionaire would show up and get a Coke. When there is no actual difference between $3 and $3,000 to you, you get what you want. I'm a delivery driver. In a similar vein, when I deliver to new money neighborhoods where the homes are $500K 1 mil, there are luxury brand cars in every driveway. When I'm in neighborhoods where the homes are $20 million, it's usually a lot of current year models of average brands. 2023 Hondas, Toyotas, etc. I was surprised to see that the richer people become the more understated they preferred to be. Edit, I understand most houses in the US are now in the $500,000 range. Before COVID though they were cheaper, at least in my city. I get that things are different now though. Thank you. Most super wealthy people don't want everybody to know they're super wealthy because they don't want to be constantly asked for money and value their privacy. It's hard for moderately wealthy people to understand this until they no longer have to try to get that kind of attention by showing off. Also, people in the low tiers of wealthy often aren't even wealthy at all. They often have just good incomes and a lot of debt financed by that income. You can have a net worth of $0 and live in an $800,000 house if you have a good job. You don't get into a $20 million house without actually having a ton of wealth or obscenely high-paying job like being a pro athlete, entertainer, major executive, etc. I was the project manager for a mansion build for one of the founders of a major health insurance company here in the US. This guy was one of, if not the, best billionaire I've ever worked for. He showed up nearly every day in shorts and flip-flops and would treat all of us like equals. This was around the time that President Obama was about to put out Obamacare. I was in a meeting with the owner and President Obama called him, on his cell, to discuss the plan. He, the owner, tells us to hold on, the president is calling, to which someone jokingly made a comment about, thinking he was joking. The owner asks Obama to say hi to the team, and he did. It was surreal to be at the table with him when the call came through. And an experience I will never forget. Edit, he was a founder but sold his shares, prior to Obama becoming president, and was in retirement, working on passion projects. Not an active member of the company. I'm not going to disclose his name for NDA purposes. I will say that his story is pretty all-American. Did not come from money. Served in Vietnam and started out as an insurance salesman. Built his own company up from that. My bro worked on a super yacht, quit the day he saw a 14-year-old take a massive shit on the deck and tell him to clean it up. Same reason I walked. I was supposed to be machine maintenance. The owner has a private bathroom in his office. I was tasked with unclogging a turd that was about the same size as a Yeti 46 ounces water bottle. I told them in my interview that I don't have the stomach to clean toilets. My brother-in-law builds custom homes in the redneck Riviera belt of Florida. One day, he called me to come over to this $15 million beach house he was doing a complete remodel of. He was the original builder. He asked me to bring my truck and trailer. I show up, and he walks me through all 4 floors. He then says, the owners have removed all the stuff they want to keep. She has told me to dispose of everything as I see fit. Get what you want. Furniture, appliances, outdoor furniture, rugs, lamps, artwork, you name it. I don't know the value of everything I took home with me that day, but it was the highest end stuff I've ever seen. 4 floors of it, and I only got 1 trailer load because I simply couldn't fit anything else in my house. I likely had over $20,000 worth of furniture and appliances on that trailer. Man, I would have rented a U-Haul and storage space. You possibly could have made 6 figures selling all that stuff. The owner's one stipulation was for personal use only. She didn't want to see it for sale. In her mind, she was giving to the less fortunate even though all the stuff I got went into my $500,000 home. The work crews that showed up got what was left. There was one dude who got one of the $3,000 outdoor furniture sets. There were 12 total occupying the 4 floors of outdoor balconies that he put in his house as dining room stuff. Wayfair.com, that's what we have now from that house. Design is a little different, but made of polywood. She said they were $3 grand a set.